Hi there, this is Ron Poole at mynextappointment.com. In part 1 of this series, I introduced you to date selection, column navigation, and to the notable custom settings that can be applied to the appointment book interface. In part 2 of this series, we covered the visual representation of appointments and the controls relating to appointment data. At the conclusion of part 2, I initiated the booking process by clicking the time slot 11 a.m. in the column Recruiter 2 for October 3rd, 2013. That click moved us to this page, which is the final step in the booking process. As you can see, the date, the start time, and Recruiter 2 were set with that initial click. Now, if it was a client doing their own online booking, then all they would need to do is select a service and book their appointment. But owners and their managers have more control of the inputs. Owners can add a list of their more regular clients to the database. Each entry will include the client's name, phone number, and email address. I have added a couple of client names to this business for demonstration purposes. Selecting one of these names will automatically attach their client details to the appointment. If the client does not exist in your list, then you can manually enter their information into the following 3 fields. Now, there are 2 important things to note about the client list. Selecting a client from the list will override anything you enter into the 3 subsequent fields. And 2, each appointment created for a client from your list will be added to the appointment history of that client. However, there will be no appointment history created for clients that are not in your list. That appointment will be included in the booking history of either the owner or their manager, depending on who booked the appointment. More will be said about appointment histories in a subsequent video. So let's move on to the rest of the appointment options. Here there is room for appointment notes. These notes will be displayed in the tooltip, which is the same tooltip that was discussed in part 2 of this video series. You can also create up to 51 repeat identical appointments, days, weeks, and even years in advance. Finally, all that needs to be done is to set the service. The duration of each appointment is preset by the owner, and multiple services can be combined into the same appointment. Error checks will prevent appointments being scheduled that begin or end outside of the business hours, or which overlap lunch times, scheduled time off, and other appointments. So to sum up, the scheduling process began with our initial click in the appointment book. That click set the time, the date, and the service person for the appointment. Owners are then supplied with a variety of tools to control the information they attach to each of their bookings. For those offering online client booking, the information attached to the appointment will be that of the client, so there is no need to provide them with additional controls. All they see is the form to change the time, the date, and the service person, and the list from which to select their service. And since the owner has preset the duration of each service, there is no possibility of a client booking too little or too much time for their selected service. Mina provides absolute accuracy when it comes to client self-booking. My name is Ron Poole, and thank you for watching.